Hey there, Midwest Game Fest gamers. How's it going? This is Andi Diekman. I'm here for the Paint with Andi, except we're not going to paint today. We're going to do HeroForge character planning. So the idea behind this is that, we play characters in our RPG games, and sometimes we don't kind of think about their backstory or maybe what we want to see from them in the future. So when we're looking at making a character or a miniature for our character, we kind of want to think about those things because it's not always easy to add to your character, your miniature, the more your character develops. So if we kind of think about like where they're coming from and their backstory, but then also thinking about their future and where we want to go with these characters, we can build a really cool miniature through some of these 3D printing companies, HeroForge being one of those. And so I just kind of want to like talk through that with you guys and like what can we kind of think about and ways to kind of come up with your character's personality even. So even if you have a cool idea but you're struggling with some things that your character might do, this will hopefully give you some ideas that you can kind of bounce off of or build up to in your character growth in your games and stuff like that. So that's kind of the concept and what we're going to try and do here. So if you have never used HeroForge before, hopefully this will kind of get you an introduction, and feel free to pull up your own HeroForge. You can actually create a character without making a login. You just won't be able to save it unless you have actually made an account for yourself, and the accounts are free, so feel free to make one. So if you want to build along with me and kind of think about your characters and what you're doing, then please feel free to do that. Otherwise, feel free to just kind of follow along and watch. So I have picked a human male because I'm actually going to do a character based off of one that my husband is playing in one of the games I run. And so I've gotten kind of a list here of concepts and character ideas from him. So anyway, I'm going to work on building that. And he is a human, so we're going to go ahead and use a human. But just so all of you know, like there are so many different kinds of character races on here for all kinds of RPGs, not just D&D, not just Pathfinder. Like there's a bunch of different ones. So look through these. Like they've got what we traditionally think of in a fantasy kind of world. They have some really neat different concepts and things. Let's see, let's go a little further. You can play a feline character. Those are kind of neat. Like, that's a canine one, sorry. But still, there's our feline. Play a feline character. They've got, HeroForge is always coming up with new things. So I actually subscribe to their newsletter because I think it's really neat to look at all the different things they have come out. But they have larger characters that you can get now, not just like the regular medium-sized characters. Let's go a little further down here. Here we go. Forest Guard, like that's not something you would typically think of, but they've got this neat character idea. The new elephant type folk. Here, Goblins. Maybe you like to play Goblins. They've got skeletons and zombies. Those are really good for NPC kind of bad guy characters if you're wanting to do that kind of stuff. Here we go. Robot. So maybe you're playing a HeroForge or something like that. You can still build your character out of this, even if you don't have like the humanoid look. They've got rabbits, merfolk. This one's really new. I had not done one of these ones yet. Those are really neat. Centaurs. There's just a bunch, you guys. So many different options that they have really opened up, and it's really cool. And so I know there's other places out there that will let you do 3D printing. So just look through and kind of see what you might want to do. But like I said, we're going to do human today to go off of my husband's character. And you can name your characters so that if you do end up saving them, because you'll notice I here have multiple different characters that I've kind of played around with stuff. So this one, I renamed it to Wind Rider because that's what my husband's character's name is. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. So there's over here to the left, it gives us the different options to like change our character around. So something I want to do first is go to staging and poses because that's going to set the tone for the other pieces that we have going on. So I'm going to go ahead and go to staging first. So one thing about my husband's character is that he actually has a horse that he's very attached to. Let's check these out. There's a pony. He has a riding horse though. There we go. That's more size appropriate. So he, let's see, can we change the actual base? Here we go. So he is also a druid. So I'm going to look and see if I can find something. Well, there's stone, there's bamboo. That's kind of neat. I could paint that like sand maybe, and he's running on the beach. One seems more indoor-esque. I'm going to go ahead and go with this one for now. What's this one? Coins? That's kind of neat. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go with like the sandy kind of looking one because I feel like I can paint that to be kind of an outdoor-esque kind of thing. So let's see if I want the room to change. Let's look how that looks. So if we look down here at the bottom, will actually show us like how that would be printed, the base of the miniature. I think I like that angled look. We don't need anything on the bottom. Okay, here we go. Oops. Extras, that's what I want. Okay, so I think I'm going to skip extras on the staging for now because we can always come back to that. But there are a lot of really cool things in here as well. And so, like I said, since he's a druid, I will probably end up putting a few extra little deals on here based on his like druidic piece and then some of his personality. But again, we'll do that in just a bit. Now let's go ahead and go over to posing since I've got the horse down. Okay. Right. Kind of a regal-esque or calming kind of pose we got going on here. Oh, very showy. I don't think he's much of a showy kind of character. I also don't really imagine him as like speeding through things. His character kind of tends to think inquisitively about things. So let's go ahead and use this one here. based on how he has acted in his games so far, I feel like he would probably like interact with people in more of a calming way, trying to you know, come across friendly and soft. So I think I like this pose best out of those. All right, let's go ahead and go into our facial features. So we've got a lot to cover, so I don't want to, you know, dig too deep into this, but do know that this is an option that you can kind of look at different faces here that kind of, there's the smolder, right? Some angry face, serious face. I like the smiling face for him. But we can look at different types of smiles and like how intense we want that smile to be. I think I want to go with kind of a softer smile. I think I like that one. I don't really want him to express any of these other ones. So, but they can be kind of neat to kind of play around with and look at. If you're not sure how you think your character might, you know, look to other people, if you can kind of play around with these and kind of figure out the expressions that your character might have. It's kind of fun. All right, let's go ahead. Eyes. Honestly, I'm kind of okay with where his eyes are, so I don't necessarily like I need to play with that any. Okay. So you can really get down into the nitty-gritty on things with characters. And so this can be kind of nice. And I was actually just talking to somebody else about this just a little bit, where you can really get into like more about the movement of your character, the placement of different pieces of the body. And so this can be kind of neat to play around with too. That's too far. Let's see, do I like... Now, that twists it out more in. There, we're almost like waving on that one. That's kind of neat. Okay, I'm kind of liking that. So let's do that. Nope, we're gonna go. There we go. So he's kind of waving, greeting people a little bit. That's kind of neat. I kind of like that. So let's stick with that. And then I liked it back further. There we go. Let's look at his hand here. Okay. Do we like his open hand? Closed a little bit. You can just really put so much emotion into this when you really look at like these different hand gestures you can go with. That's kind of neat. Like that one, I think. Okay. Like I said, I don't want to get too much into things, but it's just kind of neat. Let me look around. I don't know. His arm looks kind of far back. Let's go back to this one. Pull it forward just a little bit more. There we go. A little more natural, maybe. All right. Cool. I like that. Okay. So again, you can go into the details for all of these different areas of the torso and kind of look at all these different options and things like that. And I don't want to get too far into it on this part with you guys, but feel free to go as deep as you want. All right, so okay, here we go. Head. That's what I want to do next. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom in. Oops. His face here a little bit for us. So you have different options to change out for the face. And so if you wanted to make like a mishmash of things, like you want a humanoid body but you really want your humanoid, you know, person to have like a reptilian head, you can do that. Like you can change these things out and do different aspects. You can have like different face shapes. So, just like real people have. They give them different labels and things like that, but that doesn't mean that that's what you have to like be using to use these different faces. You can, whatever you think your character like best is personified. One's kind of neat. I like that one. Got his cheeks a little bit. He's really skinny. I like this one actually. Okay, go with that one. His ears, I don't need to change his ears because again, he is a human. But if you have like a half elf or something like that you want to mostly look human, but he does have, you know, more pointed ears or something, those are pretty big ones. Let's see, maybe something like that. Anyway, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave the average ears here. All right, let's go to hair. All right, so my husband's character actually has very long hair, so I'm going to look some of these longer dues for him. Feminine. It's not too bad. Also said that he typically has his hair down and loose, so more natural rather than being like tied up or anything like that. So let's look at some of those options. All right, I think of what we have here, I think I'm liking this one best. Okay. So again, you know, whatever you think that your character kind of doesn't even, again, it doesn't even have to be what does your character look like right now. It could be, you know, how do you want your character's hair to look in the future? So if my husband had shared with me that, oh, where's that other one at? If my husband had shared with me that he was like, my hair's gonna be super crazy long, then, you know, maybe I would go with something more like this. Now, the HeroForge one is kind of feminine in the look, I feel like, but maybe his character has more feminine-esque appearances. And that's okay. So I am going to go with this one here. I like the way that one looks on him, on the face that I have chosen. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. So we had a question about if you go back and change the race after you've done some facial adjustments. Depending on the race you end up choosing, it will adjust everything for you. So you would have to go back and redo those. So I would definitely pick your race or your species, is what it calls it on HeroForge. Definitely pick that first and try and make sure that that's kind of what you're wanting to do if you go through all the effort to do all the minutia details that we've been talking about and things like that. So yeah, because it will clear out what you've done on your other facial expressions, unless it's something that carries over from race to race. So like if you had one character that was smiling and you're going to another race, your character should still be smiling, but there may be adjustments to that smile because of the race change, and it doesn't quite equate over. Let's see. Okay, we have got some beard options. I don't believe he has a beard of any kind. He has a, nope, he does. He has a trimmed beard, he says. Let's see. Some of these look pretty long. I'm thinking the trimmed beard I would just have to maybe paint on, because these are looking kind of longer. Yep, I'm thinking I'm going to have to go with the miniature actually being beardless when it prints. And then if I was going to print this and paint it myself, then I would kind of put some stubble maybe on him to kind of give him more of a look of the beard piece. All right, let's go over to eyebrows. I'm kind of liking the ones we've got, but let's see our options. What do we've got here? Some bushy eyebrows. Well, maybe he's got a scar. I don't think he listed any kind of scars, but again, maybe that's something you think about and you kind of maybe want to have that kind of an aspect. You want to have that rough kind of look. Some piercings. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with the eyebrows that we've got. All right, our eyes. Those all look different. I'm going to go with the normal human eyes, or humanoid eyes. Okay, he doesn't have any different kind of teeth or anything like that, but some of these are kind of neat to kind of look through if there's something. Oh, this would be a really good one if you had a half-orc that looks more human, but still has some of that half-orc aspect coming through. Here is where you could kind of make some of those like small adjustments that like still show you're a half-orc even though you mostly look humanoid, you know, kind of thing. So anyway, just some kind of neat concepts, neat ideas you can kind of put in there. But again, I'm not going to do those because he doesn't have any of those type of aspects. Horns are also another really, really cool thing that you can kind of add on and play with stuff. Now, for my husband's character, for Wind Rider, I did consider doing some kind of like tree branch thing. Oof, those are kind of big. But he's a druid, so I did kind of think about maybe antlers or something. I don't know. Those are really big, though. I don't know how. You know, sometimes you see druids who have kind of put those kind of things. Here we go, smaller ones. They've kind of built those things into like a headdress for themselves. I kind of like that aspect, or that thought process when thinking about a druid. What's this one? And they have so much new stuff on here, even from when I have been on here last. These are neat. Just really cool stuff. Okay. Thinking, is this where I have? Yeah, let's take those off. I kind of want them to be further back if he is going to have them. Well, that's kind of neat. Ooh, let's look at these ones. Oh, nope, same ones, just real big. Loki's or Hell from Marvel. Let's look. Not finding anything that I like too terribly much. I wish I could angle these back because I kind of like those ones, but not really going in the direction that I wanted. So I don't think we can adjust these ones. I have not been able to find a way to be able to adjust these. I wonder if we go back to poses. Oh, look at that. I think we can. Oh, how neat. That's cool. So I'm telling you guys, always something new. I had not done this part before, done anything like this before. This is really cool. Okay. Well, I might be able to actually get antlers for him that I was wanting. It's kind of neat. So on Saturday at 11, I'm going to be doing a color theory class. And I'm going to use this miniature once we're done on Saturday to actually do the color theory on. So then when I go to do that, then I'll be able to show these antlers and how they're separate from his hair and show the coloring in the antlers and things like that. So yeah, and you will need an account in order to save these kinds of things. So just know that if you do create something on here, be sure that you have an account logged in so that you can save what you've made. Okay, and I think I like these antlers and this angle that we've got them going at now. So I'm gonna go with that. All right, let's go back to his. That was the last thing on our heads feature. So, so we've gone through our checklist here. So let's go ahead and go to our body section. I'm not going to change anything, most likely. We'll go through them, but I don't think I'm going to change anything. But again, just something I kind of wanted to show and express to you guys that there's just so many cool opportunities out here with all the different 3D printings now that you can really kind of tailor your character however you kind of want to. And so again, you maybe, I don't know if anybody's ever played like a Yuan-Ti Pureblood, where you mostly look humanoid, but you have Yuan-Ti features. And so here is where you could, you know, you start with a human, but then you add in these aspects, like maybe this lizard kind of aspect to your chest, that would, you know, portray more of that Yuan-Ti side of things. And when we get into the color theory, you can also kind of make some of those adjustments, like for the eyes and things like that. So, but anyway, just something to kind of consider when you're working on things. And you can do different aspects, like adding additional limbs and things like that. Right. Legs, I don't think I want to change the legs because I think I like how they are. He's gonna have clothes on, so I won't be able to see the actual damaged aspects of him, so I don't need to worry about that. Yeah, okay. So I think oh, this is kind of new too. I hadn't seen this before, again, since I've been on last. But you can actually like show these different aspects where like if you're missing a limb, maybe you have a peg leg or more of the modern blade legs. That's really neat. I had not seen that. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stick with my traditional legs for my husband's character. You can also change out your measurings. Let's see. Let me see if he's given me any kind of aspects there. Straight hair, trim beard, gloves. He didn't really say on that aspect. I believe he's kind of tall. So I don't know how well you guys can see it, but if you click and hold the height section here, it will actually give you the measurements of like what the character would be. So if you literally know the height of your character, like my character is 6'4", you can shift this height little toggle there to the correct height, and then it will actually measure out that for you. So you don't have to try and guess like, oh, you're kind of bigger, so maybe I want to be this adjustment to the horse. It actually does that for you. So you just have to know what height you are. Let's see. He can... No, he's not very strong. He's got a 10 strength, which is not super weak, but it's not very strong either. Let's give him a little bit smaller arms. There we go. Sure. Oh, that's his waist. Chest. Yeah, I think that's fine. We can also change his posture, which is neat. It's a neat concept to, if you're well, if you're like me, I'm slouching constantly. Widen his shoulders. Let's make them more narrow there. Okay. Anything else? Okay, I think that's probably all I wanted to kind of do was get the height right on that. All right, so there's extra aspects, like if your character has wings, maybe you want wings. I always like these, I've never used them before, but I love these stitched together wings, like a character's like, well, I don't have wings, but I really want them. So that's kind of neat. If you're playing a Celestial, what's the D&D race, like a Azamar, I think it is. I know that at a certain level, they can get wings temporarily. You could put the wings on your miniature just because you don't always have them. Doesn't mean that your miniature can't have them. So that could kind of be a cool aspect. So lots of different things there. Again, I'm not going to do any of those because his character is not going to get to that point where he has wings or anything like that. So I won't put any of those on, but they do have some really, really neat looking things. Tails, same thing. Wind Rider doesn't need these, but they do have some really cool aspects of different things. Alright, let's look at these extras. I think they are just like appendage pieces, like the shells and the spines and fins. So if you have picked like a merfolk or a reptile of some kind, you may consider kind of playing around with these and seeing what kind of would look neat on your character. Right. So I think I'm pretty happy with everything that we've done so far with the head, the posture, and things like that. So let's go ahead and move on to our clothing. We've only got half our session left. All right, so let's see. All right, so this first one out here is like preset outfits. So you don't have to necessarily pick through these, but I am gonna just kind of go through them real quick and see if there's anything that strikes me as something that would be fitting for him. Well, that's not too bad, although I wanted to get him some shoes. So again, being a druid, he's got a lot of nature stuff going on, but he also is slightly priest-esque. He follows the Nordic deities. He also really likes birds of prey, so that's something that I need to consider when I'm making this. Let's see, is there something else in this list that might be interesting to give us a start? So I usually like to start with with some type of a template when I'm putting my character's clothing together. I kind of feel like it gives me a good idea of what I'm kind of looking at, and then I will go in and do more details based on where I've started at. I do want to look at this one, see how that looks. I think I like the feather or leaf one I did better. So, and you by no means have to start with these, these outfits like I'm doing. You absolutely could go straight into starting to pick out, each of these individual pieces. All right, I think I'm going to use this as my starting. And most likely we'll end up changing a bunch of stuff, but it gives me a starting point, gives me kind of an idea in my head about where I want to go with things. So let's look at headdresses and see if we can find something. So I do know he doesn't wear it all the time, but I do know he just recently got a snake skull for a headdress he wears out when he is he's kind of they're kind of doing a Robin Hood-esque kind of thing where they're stealing from the rich and giving to the poor kind of thing because people are being mistreated. And so that is something he's doing. One looks more dragon-esque rather than snake, so I'm gonna probably skip that one. I like this deer headdress, but that does not fit him, so we will not do that one. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just not seeing anything that strikes me as a snake skull headdress. I say snake skull, I'm talking like it is a giant constrictor, so it actually does fit his head. Alright, I'm not seeing anything that I am too tickled about on that, so I think I'm going to skip doing a headdress of any kind. Yep, I'm just going to skip the headdress piece because yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's real exciting there. Maybe a band. Yeah. Let me zoom in on his face here a little bit. Yeah, I'm still just not. Nope, not liking them, so I'm not gonna do it. I like the antlers I've got on in there, so we're just gonna stick with that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the shoulders. So we do have some shoulder pieces here, but let's see if there's gonna be anything that's more fitting. Okay. Those could be painted into feathers very easily, or to fur. Those are okay. What about these? That's fur for sure. But he really has this bird thing going on that he really likes those birds of prey. So I think I'm liking the bird ones better. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, here's the leaves that we had on before. Those are pretty neat. What do we look like without anything? You know what? Maybe he doesn't even need shoulder pads. Oh, those are kind of neat. I haven't seen those ones yet. These would be good for his partner. His partner's got a wolf motif going on. I could get those to look like, maybe not. Thought maybe I could get those to look like feathers, but I think they've got a little deep of an indent there to be feathers. I think I may just go without shoulder. He's not very like showy, and he doesn't have. Well, he will be getting more armor. I better have something on his shoulders. Let's go back up to the top there. Let's do these feathered ones. Okay, well, we're gonna have to change his chest piece then, because those don't match his chest piece very well. Let's look. Okay, so what do we want to do? I do like the feathers on his chest piece that he has right now. This might be the only nature-esque piece we've got going on. Let's see if there's... Yeah, so what I'm gonna try and do here, ooh, there we go, Yeah, what I'm going to try and do is kind of mix and match some things and kind of see what we can come up with. Oh, let's take that back off. See what we can come up with that'll match like the different pieces that we like. And we may end up going back and taking those shoulder pads back off again. So we'll just kind of see how things go and how we build on things. Actually, I do want to see this shirt without these shoulder pads. I'm kind of liking those. I think those are feathers. I think those would be good feathers. I may go back to not having shoulder pads again, even though we just picked some out. That's okay. So I'm liking this over top here. Let's see if there's anything else. This one was neat, but I still like that other one better. Well, that one's kind of neat too. For a druid. Like I said, he's gonna probably have more of his armor showing. That one's kind of neat. Well, that makes me think of winter. And he's not necessarily a winter druid. He's more of a spring type druid. So let's go back. I like this one more. Well, maybe fall druid. That off underneath. Okay, so I hadn't really played with this before, but you might notice, you can kind of see on his center mass, and I put the undershirt back on, it fills out more. So you can't see anything, basically, of this undershirt. You can't actually see anything of it, except for maybe a little bit right at his neck here. But if I take it off, it kind of sifts back in his overcoat. So that is something to also kind of consider, is like if you're layering things, even with 3D printing where it's like, okay, well, nothing of that's showing. Well, even if nothing is showing, is it making you look fuller? Like, is it making your character's clothes look fuller? Like, if you had a winter coat over top of a sweater, over top of a t-shirt, over top of a tank top, you know, does it look like it's layered? So you're seeing all these different layers. So I think, again, he's more fall-esque, so I don't want him to look as bulky in his clothing. So I'm going to take off the undershirt, and I'm really liking this overshirt more so, and I really think I could paint these to be feathers. I'm really liking this one a lot. So, okay, so I'm going to go with this. Let's go to gloves. Okay. So one thing about Wind Rider is that he is looking forward to having a hawk, not familiar, but like a companion kind of thing. And so we want him, I'm going to take these off. We want him to have a gauntlet, but like a leather glove, but we only want it on one hand because he is because he'll be because it's the hawk glove, like when you have a bird of prey kind of thing. So we're going to unlink these, which means that we can pick a glove. Let's just pick this one for now. We can pick a glove, and you'll notice that it only put it on one hand for me. So if I link them back again, it puts it on both hands. I can unlink them so that it only goes on one side. So that's what we're gonna do. So let me, I'm not sure I like that one. We're gonna look through these and see which is gonna be a good fit for Wind Rider to have his hawk. Oh, that doesn't go up high enough. Let's look. Those are too metal looking and too bulky. I may just go with the one that's at the top there because it actually looked pretty good. We are playing in a world, well, that one's not too bad. So it does look kind of metal around his fingers. So we are playing in a world, well, basically like, oh, that's not bad. The normal D&D druid that's, you know, not, they don't use metal and things like that for their armor and stuff. I'm liking that one. That could be a nice leather glove, I feel like. Okay, I'm not really seeing anything else. I'm just gonna look at this one just because I want to see it. Sorry. Oh, that one's kind of neat. I didn't realize it's kind of fur-esque instead of metal. Actually, so I might go with this one, and I'll tell you why. Because again, part of this is planning for characters, right? So Wind Rider has been living in a forest for like the last several months now. Again, just like Robin Hood, and so he's not going to necessarily have access to a lot of like well-tailored clothing. So this glove looks very like makeshift, like something that even though he's not proficient in leatherworkers tools, that he probably could have put this together himself. So I'm really liking that aspect of it, that Wind Rider actually built this glove for his hawk specifically. So I think I'm going to go with this glove. Instead of going with like the smooth traditional leather glove, I'm going to go with this like makeshift patchworked kind of glove for Wind Rider and for his hawk. So, okay, I'm liking that a lot. Okay, just want to make sure we don't have any questions or anything going on. Okay. All right, let's go on to legs here. You'll notice that what I started with, I am just about totally gone with everything I started with. But at least it kind of gave me a concept of where I was trying to go, that nature aspect, trying to pull that out of my brain. So let's look. Not seeing too much that really gets me excited here. Oh, that's chain. I don't want chain. It's too floofy. And I almost wonder if just some plain Jane pants are going to be the best option here. Too pixie. Let's try, what about these pants? All right, I'm gonna take these shoes off too, because where are they at? There they go. They're throwing me off a little bit. So yeah, I've pretty much done nothing from the original thing I picked. But that's okay. That's kind of plain. I don't like that belt. Like jeans. Actually, they're kind of ruffly. Okay, so again, thinking about characters stuff. He also tries to emulate a lot of like Native American aspects into his character. So that's why he went with the name Wind Rider. Because he was trying to kind of pull in some of that aspects, being kind of like with nature, listening to nature, and so some of his attire kind of looks like that too. So these pants, although I'm pretty sure they're probably supposed to be like a Spanish bullfighter-esque buckskin pants, I don't know, maybe. They make me think of kind of the frills that we sometimes think about when we think about Native American like clothes and shirts and things, where they kind of have some of those frills that hang down a little bit. Sometimes it's just leather strips that are kind of hanging down. So that's kind of what these pants make me think of a little bit, actually. So I may end up going with these pants just because that is the first thing that my brain thought about when I saw those. So far, I'm thinking I like these pants best. I'm just gonna continue scrolling through just to make sure that there's not anything else that really strikes out at me. But I'm thinking I like these pants. Yep, I'm not really seeing anything else that really strikes me. Okay, I like these pants. I think I'm gonna go with these. Okay. All right, footwear. Okay. I know he doesn't go barefoot. So let's take a look at some of our shoe options. Wonder if there's like moccasins or something in here. That would be good. Not liking those. Still kind of wintry. I'm not sure how I like that either. Those look like they have metal. Yeah, those look like metal. Those look metal or something. Those look too bulky too. Let's see. How about you? Well, it's not too bad. They look like they could be makeshift shoes. I'm kind of sad I haven't seen any moccasins yet. Maybe they're still there and I just haven't found them. Oof, we're getting into a lot of metal stuff. Those are, oh, what am I trying to think of? Samurai type looking shoes. Those are kind of neat. Ooh. Not what I was originally thinking, but they fit. I feel like they fit the Native American thing that I was talking about a little bit ago. So I'm liking those. Those aren't too bad either. I feel like those are very nomad-esque, which I feel like his character is kind of a nomad. Oh, those are things we had on earlier. Let's see. I just want to see these. That's neat. Oh man, we're really sorry, you guys. We're really running low on time. Oh, taking too long. Okay, I'm thinking I like these ones. I feel like they can be very Native American-esque. All right. And there's different mask options, but again, I'm not going to cover up his face. He wants to be a friendly kind of face out there and things. So, he does more on spells, so he doesn't have a whole lot of gear, but there are so many gear options out here. So think about that. And I will probably, actually some things, oh no, not in his hand. I don't want it in his hand. I want it on his side. There we go. There we go. Give him some potions. Wonder if there's like a trinkets or something. Oh, not sci-fi. Fantasy. Be a coin pouch, maybe. Oh, they don't actually use coin in where he's at, so that probably would not be a good idea. Lots of weapons and things. Oh, you know what? He does have a dagger, so that might be nice. There we go. This is a smaller one. There we go. That looks like more of a natural dagger that maybe he's carved out of something. Okay, I like that. All right. So we've got him some baubles and things, some potions. We could add piercings and things. I'm not going to do that, but you can add all kinds of those different things. So if we go back just real quick on the staging piece of things, on these extras, we can add, let's see, do we have some leaves. We could add leaves to the ground. Again, he is going to be a like a druid that like speaks with nature and plants and animals and things. So I could add in some animals at the bottom, maybe add these birds in. They follow him or something. Let me see. What else? Acorns. That's kind of neat. Oh, here we go. Yeah, he's got a badger. That's cute. Some mice. Oh, there's this fox that has been tormenting him. The white fox that lives in the forest that is just out of his reach, and he has not been able to talk to it yet, and it's kind of tormenting him. That might be a good one, actually, and I could paint that fox white. I think I'm going to go with that one. I really like that one. And we could add other extras. So like if I still wanted those leaves, I can go to the extra bees here and put those leaves out there too. So that's kind of neat too. Okay, so let's look at these plants coming up. I think I like the leaves better. Okay, we have done a lot here. So I know there's kind of a lot of like thought process that has to go into this kind of and really kind of thinking about like what you're wanting to do and where you're wanting to go. You know, if you guys have questions, feel free to shoot me any questions that you guys have, or if there's anything that I can help with. Hopefully this was at least a little bit helpful on thinking through character backstory and character growth as well. So kind of both concepts of things, and can kind of give you a better idea of what you want to do with your character. So if you do go on here, be sure that you save your character. That way everything you've done has been saved. You can go to the photo booth and kind of look through things. You can buy your character that way as well, if that's what you wanted to do, was actually print this. And again, on Saturday at 11 a.m., I'm going to be doing a color theory class, and I will end up painting Wind Rider with you guys. And so you can have whatever character that you have created with me, or if you want to create one and then bring it with you, then you can, you know, work on color theory with me on Saturday. So thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you got something out of it, and at least hopefully it was fun.